Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Psycho, and I've got another Walking Dead video for you all today. This is once again going to be pretty interesting in my opinion, and it is covering the topic of the showrunners of The Walking Dead are making big promises for Season 8. And more specifically, these promises are being set for the 100th episode, also known as the Season 8 premiere. First off, I just want to thank you guys so much for all of the support lately on this channel. I've seen a lot of views, likes, comments, and all of that increasing. Thanks to all of you people. You guys are freaking awesome. But jumping right into this news, this is actually from an Entertainment Weekly article, and the article is titled, "The Walking Dead Producer Promises a Ton of Action in the Season 8 Premiere." Now first off, I'm just going to read some of this article to you all, and then I'm going to give my thoughts on it and possibly some predictions based on that. The article begins by stating, "The Walking Dead has already begun filming on Season 8. Making the event even more special is the fact that the season premiere marks the show's 100th episode. When we spoke to Andrew Lincoln recently, the star talked about how he was genuinely more excited about this next episode and the following 15 than I've ever been in my life. And showrunner Scott M. Gimple hinted that the material coming up would be a bit more kinetic, a bit more breakneck. But now that they're actually filming, what the heck is going on down there?" Co-executive producer Denise Youth was kind enough to be our eyes and ears and call Entertainment Weekly Radio from Sonoya, Georgia, set of the landmark 100th episode to share her thoughts on what's happening and what it all means, and you can hear the entire chat below on the EW Morning Live podcast, along with the following transcript featuring highlights from the conversation. Entertainment Weekly then says, "You all are filming the 100th episode. You've been there for all of them. What does this mean for you and your team? It's kind of surreal in a way. Back when we started, we never imagined we'd make it to 100 episodes. It seemed like such a far-off goal. It was hard to even contemplate at the time. We just wanted a second season. It's a huge compliment, the fact that we've been able to grow the story and grow the show, and every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. This year, that's certainly the case as well. And add on top of that is our season premiere for Season 8 happens to be the 100th episode. It makes it a really exciting way to come back. The energy here is really good. Everyone is super pumped up, and it's particularly exciting coming off of last year, where the Season 7 premiere last year was a total 180 energy-wise. It was a really tough way to start the season, and this year is a really exciting way to start." Entertainment Weekly then asked the question, "At what point did someone there do the math and realize that episode 100 would be your Season 8 premiere?" Denise then states, "I think sometime during Season 6 we did the math and put the numbers together and realized that episode 801 would be the 100th episode, but it doesn't really change the overall storytelling. Certainly there's a thought of that, and I'm sure showrunner Scott Gimple thought about it when he was writing the episode. But it's also just naturally the way the story's being told, and the fact that this is the start of the war, it worked out very well. Fate was kind to us that this was the episode we have for the 100th episode." Entertainment Weekly then states, "Andrew Lincoln, Norman Reedus, Lenny James, and others all talked pretty openly about how difficult last season was to film because the characters were all separated and really depressed and having to take crap from this Negan dude. How much more fun is it to film now as we head into the all-out war arc from the comics?" Denise then says, "Oh gosh, it's like night and day compared to how we had to start last year. They all came back so super excited, and it's a big year. These episodes are coming in huge. It's a lot of work. It's just as hard as it's ever been, if not harder. There's just a sense of excitement because the characters aren't in that dark down place. It was really hard last year. It was hard for the cast, it was hard for the crew, it was hard for all of us. It was a really essential part of the story, and I think we needed to go through that pain to have what we're doing now be so satisfying. If everything we are doing now had happened in the 3rd or 4th episode last year, it would still be cool, but it wouldn't have the impact now because we've all had to trudge through the mud to get here. The energy is just incredible with the cast being together, and for a lot of these actors, it's the first time or one of the first times they're having the opportunity to work together because they were so split up last year. So it's exciting for us to integrate a lot of the newer characters with the OGs, and we see them all coming together and take on this one challenge that they share. It makes it a really, really exciting way to begin a season." Entertainment Weekly then asked the question, "Are you worried about catching up to the comics and going neck and neck with it?" Denise then states, There's no telling with Scott and the writers and the things that they'll pull. I don't think we will really totally catch up. I think Robert Kirkman will always stay ahead of us, and Scott likes to take a lot of detours. So we always have that roadmap to follow, and we know generally where we're going to get to, but he introduces a lot of things that don't exist in the comics, like the scavengers and heaps, and finds a way to integrate those elements into Robert's existing story. People ask me all the time how the show's going to go. I have no idea. But Robert is nowhere near done with the books, so I think it would be quite some time before we were in danger of catching up with him. Finally, Entertainment Weekly states this: "You can't tell us what is happening in the premiere, but give us a few adjectives to describe what fans are going to see." She then states, "It's a ton of action. It's super exciting. I think it will be really satisfying. As a fan of the show, and I am a fan of the show, when I read it, it was like, oh, I can't wait. It's going to be great. It's worth the wait to get to this moment." And that's basically where the article ends right there, but I figured some of this would be interesting for you all to hear, and I wanted to read a little bit of it to you guys, because this is kind of big news if you do like to pay attention to what the showrunners and producers are saying. And one thing that I will note is a lot of times when the producers and showrunners highlight a certain episode and emphasize the fact that it will probably be a big episode, they're usually telling the truth, at least in my opinion. They really hyped up the Season 7 premiere just like they hyped up this one, and I certainly think they described it well because a lot of people loved that episode because it was really impactful and intense, and there were some great scenes and fantastic acting. One thing that I do want to note from this article is how Denise Huth makes a difference between the Season 7 premiere and the Season 8 premiere. She kind of emphasizes the fact that the Season 7 premiere was rough on the actors and the fans, but the Season 8 premiere will be a lot more fun, and in my opinion this means that it's a good outcome for Rick Grimes and the rest of the community's groups. It's honestly looking good from this comparison of statements, because it seems like fans are going to enjoy it because our side is winning, or we at least go on the offensive and do some badass stuff. So in my opinion, I think the Season 8 premiere will feature a few big wins for our side. It seems as if she emphasizes that a payoff is going to occur for everything that all of the characters had to face in Season 7. Another interesting thing to note is how she said it's going to be a lot easier on the actors, and in my opinion this means that the actors and the characters will be a lot more closer together this time, and I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more scenes with them together rather than it being split up like it was in Season 7. And although I do believe there's going to be some split moments between different storylines and characters and scenes, I also believe that there's going to be more togetherness with these communities in this season. And to me, this is just due to the fact that they're all joining together in this war against Negan and the Saviors and the Scavengers. But it's also because in Season 7, they really weren't completely introduced to each other, like Alexandria and the Kingdom. But now that they're finally together and have officially formed an alliance, there's going to be a lot more interaction between those people and communities, in my opinion. So I'm guessing we will see a lot more scenes with Caryl and Morgan with Rick and the original members that were with them from the start. But anyways, I just thought I would share this with you guys. They are promising a ton of action in the Season 8 premiere, so that is a big deal. I know there's a lot of action fans out there when it comes to The Walking Dead, and I think everybody pretty much loves action. But this is especially good news for the people that are always hating on this show, saying that it's too slow and there's not enough action. So it seems like everyone is going to get their feel in this Season 8 premiere, also known as the 100th episode, if the showrunners are hyping this up and it's true. In my opinion, I do believe that it will be true. There's usually a lot of truth when it comes to the showrunners and producers hyping up a finale. Now, of course, I would be a little hesitant to believe it if it was an actor or actress, but when it comes to the showrunners, they usually accurately hype up episodes. Also, one more thing that I want to point out before I end this video is the fact that Andrew Lincoln expressed how excited he was for Season 8, and not only does this hype up Season 8, but it's also good news in another sense that Andrew Lincoln is still getting excited about this show, and I certainly think that is something that is needed within the cast and the characters, because Andrew Lincoln is the core of this show, at least in my opinion. Without Andrew Lincoln and without Rick Grimes, you don't have The Walking Dead. Rick Grimes is a character that truly acts as the backbone in this show, and every other storyline and character and various things in this show are all connected to that backbone and attached to it, but the core of it really is Rick Grimes. So for this show to last a long time, we still need Andrew Lincoln to be excited about it, because we all know Andrew Lincoln is a fantastic actor, and if he really wanted to, he could finally wait until his contract is up, and then he could act in a bunch of big movies due to his huge role in this television show and the fact that everybody knows how good of an actor he really is. And he could use those acting roles in those movies to gain more notoriety in the acting world other than just being that character from The Walking Dead. So personally, I am often worried that Andrew Lincoln wants to explore more than just The Walking Dead in the future, and I really don't want him to leave the show until the show ends, or unless he has a proper death that makes sense and it fits with the story. So it's just the idea that we all know if Andrew Lincoln wanted to, he could potentially leave the show of The Walking Dead and explore bigger options for his career, and certainly win various awards for movies he plays in, because we all know he has that ability to win those awards. So I think it's really awesome that he's still excited about this show, because we truly need that, because we need Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like. That really helps me out a ton, and it shows me that you all want to see future Walking Dead videos. Thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it. Peace out.